What's going on, Jerome's? A big question heading into the 2023 NFL Draft was, were the Vikings going to trade running back Dalvin Cook and star edge rusher Za'Darius Smith during the draft? Would Kwesi get a couple of draft picks to supplement the 5 that they went in with? And as the days dithered along, and day 1 was gone, day 2 was gone, day 3 was gone, Za'Darius and Dalvin are still technically part of the team, but we'll see. So Albert Beer tweeted this out right before the start of day 3, and it still holds true. The Vikings will listen to on Dalvin Cook and Za'Darius Smith. The problem is both will require contract adjustments to be traded. Revised deals have to sit a day before they're traded, so it'd be 2024 picks for them. So that was ahead of day 3. So even if the Vikings wanted to move Za'Darius or Dalvin on their current contracts, I mean, was the team going to give up a day 3 selection? Would Kwesi have settled for a day 3 selection? Who really knows from that regard? But I don't think things have changed too much. I don't think the Vikings and Za'Darius and Dalvin are be like, all right, so our future is together. Probably not at this point. And with Za'Darius, he's already done the whole moving thing, already said goodbye on Twitter. And ironically, Rap Sheet was the guy who reported that Za'Darius asked for a release in early March. So looking at his contract, he did sign a 3-year deal last off season. There's little to no guaranteed money, as well as his $9.45 million base. Hold on. There is guaranteed money. $5.05 million of his base salary is fully guaranteed, but the rest of it, not so much. And $9.45 million for an elite edge rusher, which Za'Darius still is, even though he's on the wrong side of 30, and even though he's had injury issues the last couple seasons. I mean, that's about half, or maybe even a third of what the top tier edge rushers are making. And Dalvin, of course, Dalvin's had the whole logo coverage gate. I don't know. Like, I see both sides. I think Dalvin still has some gas left in the tank, but he is going to be 28. Better to move on from a player too early versus a year too late. So, I don't know. And Dalvin's deal, $10.4 million, $2 million of it is guaranteed. And looking through the numbers, so if the Vikings are going to trade Za'Darius and Dalvin at this point, you may as well wait until post June 1st. Same thing if they're just going to cut him, which I think is what's happening in the market. I think teams are just looking at the Viking situation as like, hey, you're not going to have either of these guys back. Why would we give you a draft pick, even if it is a future 2024 pick? We'll just wait until you cut them, and then we'll just sign them for whatever in free agency. So, starting post June 1st is when the books for 2024 open up. So if you come before June 1st or trade before June 1st, all that dead money is due right away. But post June 1st, it's able to spread out over the next year on the books. So if the Vikings cut Za'Darius pre-June 1st, they'd save $7.1 million. If they cut them post-June 1st, they'd save $8.7 million. So it's just a matter of taking the dead cap all in 1 year, 2023, or spreading it out between 2023 and 2024. So it's the same amount of money that's dead on the books, but the Vikings, of course, have a lot more cap space budgeted open in 2024, so it could make sense at this point. Plus, it really is no muss, no fuss. I mean, there is a couple of OTAs, but it's not even mandatory minicamp time before June 1st rolls around here in a month, so it's sort of whatever at this point. Same thing with trading. They would save 12.1568 and change million in cap space if they traded him pre-June 1st. They would save 13.8 million if they traded him post-June 1st. And then with Dalvin, I don't know what they're going to do, but if they cut or trade him, I think that Dalvin is a more likely cut candidate since Za'Darius has $5.05 million of a guaranteed. Now, remains to be seen if there's offset language in either contract where if they get signed. All right, so say Za'Darius somehow gets signed for $6 million in free agency, and then the Vikings would actually be relieved of that $5.05 million because the new team would be taking it on if there is offset. If there isn't, and Za'Darius could double dip, the Vikings would be in sort of whatever, but not privy to those contract details. And if they cut Dalvin post June 1st, they'd save $9 million in cap space. If they traded him post June 1st, it would be 11. So we'll see. And I still think that a cut is potentially on the table. If they do just want to eat that $2 million, if things are at a standstill, if Dalvin doesn't want to play, doesn't want to take a pay cut, and there isn't a trade market for him, I mean, we'll see. But I think the Vikings have definitely set themselves up well to cushioning the blow of losing either one of them, either if they have to cut them or if they do trade them. The Vikings signing Marcus Davenport in free agency, also picking up Andre Carter II as a UDFA, a big-time project. I like him long-term. So if they do lose Za'Darius, either cut or trade. And also the cut or trading Daniil rumors, they've gone away. So that's kind of nice. And in the running back room, adding Dwayne McBride in the 7th round when he easily could have been an early day 3 selection. I think that's a really good get for that running back room. And also, you obviously re-signed Madison. So even if they don't have Dalvin, a running back room of Madison, King Kene, Ty Chandler, and Dwayne McBride, it's pretty damn good, man. But like I said, I do think that Za'Darius and Dalvin are both significant underdogs to be on the Vikings roster for the start of the 2023 season. It makes sense to cut or trade them post-June 1st to save a little bit of more cap this year, kicking the can down the road to a degree. But, I mean, this thing could drag out into training camp. Now, players can't really hold out at training camp anymore, as well as we'll see what happens if they're still on the roster mid-June for mandatory minicamp. But yeah, I think that Za'Darius is done, and I do think that Dalvin is done. I think that if one of them is likely to be back, I think it'd be more likely Dalvin. But I think both of them, all options are on the table, and Kwesi's already said so much in press availability. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings still listening to trade offers for Za'Darius Smith and Dalvin Cook. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.